Sports.
Enjoy the silence.
Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to Von Allen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go.
If you're not watching Von Allen Sports, fuck you.
Von Allen Sports. Von Allen Sports.
Von Allen Sports on Patreon. Fuck you. I'm joining.
Von Allen Sports.
Hi. I just finished the Jets game and the Raiders game, and I figured that a lot of people are probably going to be watching this tomorrow because it's so late, but I just wanted to get this on record now because I didn't want to forget it. And then when you wake up the next day, things feel better and you feel better and all this stuff. So I had to say it now. I just wanted to finish all the games today. And so, the Jets, if you want your quarterback to come back, you actually have to win a game. And you actually have to win a game against a struggling Raiders team who has a pretend coach, okay? So, whatever, Jets, you're stupid. You're wasting a chance for Rodgers to come back and still give you a shot. So, okay. That's out of the way. Nobody cares. You may be wondering, maybe, I'm not sure, but you may be wondering why I'm decked out in my Patriots jersey with the flag of foreign countries on my body. So you've got the Bulgarian, fucking flag here. And you've got the Bulgarian flag here. So see? Now, you might be asking yourself, is Aaron from Bulgaria? Well, you'd be wrong if you thought that. No, I'm not. I'm not from Bulgaria. You might be asking yourself, well, is Aaron's parents from Bulgaria? No, you'd be wrong there too. Okay, so that would be incorrect. Okay? I'm as American as you can get. My family goes back to before United States of America even existed. Okay, so why am I decked out in another country's flag while wearing a Patriots shirt? Well, I'm just pretending to be Bill Belichick, okay? Because this is what Belichick does. So Belichick decides that he's going to put on his, little shirt the Croatian flag all over. I'm sure he's got a Croatian tattoo on his left ass cheek. I'm almost certain of it. But then not only does he wear this every week, but then he goes to Germany. And remember, when we go over to Germany as a football team, that is representing, when you're called the Patriots, like that's how the Germans view it. It's a very interesting thing there. So that's bad enough. Okay, I don't care if Brady was on the team and they were undefeated right now. I'd still have a problem with this. This is just absolutely ridiculous. But since I can't dress up like Cam Newton anymore, this is the closest I've got. I've got to make fun of Bill Belichick and how he dresses. Now, he used to not care about how he dressed, and now he's apparently a cheerleader for some foreign country that has nothing to do with him and has nothing to do with us and has nothing to do with the New England Patriots and what it stands for. Okay? So, with that said, fire Bill. You fucking suck. You absolutely suck. That was the most embarrassing fucking thing I have ever seen because of the circumstances, because of what it had to be, because you had to win. You went and did it in a foreign country. You lost to the Colts, okay? Now, granted, I like Gardner Minshew, okay? I like him as a person, but he's a shitty quarterback. He is terrible. Gardner Minshew is barely NFL level. He's barely NFL level. Like I don't even know if he would thrive in the Canadian Football League, all right? Again, I love Gardner, but that has nothing to do with his football and ability and stuff. Yeah, every once in a while he had like a good throw or whatever, but this game was awful, all right? This was atrocious. Now, we can skip to the end real quick. We can go back to the beginning of the game and throughout what happened during the game, but the ending is freshly in my mind, okay? So, at the end, Mac Jones throws a terrible pick, trying to, get into the end zone, take the lead, and possibly that would have been the game winner. Well, he throws a terrible ball, and he shorts it. It's supposed to go over. It's supposed to go to the tight end, into the end zone. Makes a bad decision. But what does Belichick try to do? Belichick decides that I'm going to throw both of my quarterbacks under the bus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull Mac on the very last drive. On the very last drive to try to win the game. So you're going to pull him, which makes him look like complete and utter shit. And then you put in Bailey Zappi, which you just ruined this kid's career. It's over for him. He's done. He's finished. Okay? It's finished. So you put him out there in a situation that cannot work. All right? It was never going to work. This isn't Tom Brady in the Super Bowl against the Rams, you fucking idiot. All right, Belichick, you are a moron. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that it was Ernie Adams, okay? It was all of the people who worked under you. It was a team of people, okay, that actually contributed more than you really have responsibility for. And obviously, Tom Brady. But at least they were able to win some games a little bit in 2000 and 2020 or 2021. So yeah, I and then we've got, guys from the past like Skarnecki and stuff like that. But it just seems like, okay, either he sucks this bad as a coach and he always has, or is he doing it on purpose so he can get fired? Because if you get fired, the fan base still loves you and they don't blame you. They're like, okay, well, it had to end, but, I don't think less of Bill or anything like that. That's maybe the thought process. But if you leave willingly and then leave the team in a bad situation, then the fans might have a issue with you, like they did when Brady left. Half of them, or not, maybe not half, probably more like 25%. Acted like little bitches when Brady left, and it was like, oh, no, Belichick, oh, we're going to keep rolling, blah, blah, blah. We got our quarterback and bleh. Okay. So, can Mac Jones be this bad? I don't know. But anyway, so you give Bailey, all right. So Bailey Zappi, you give him a chance to do that. He has to literally go out there and save the day. And if he doesn't, if he falls short of coming in there, because that's why you put him in. You put him in there because you're trying to say, hey, kid, bail me out. Bail out my shitty coaching. Bail out the shitty roster that I built here. Bail me out of all of it because I need your help. And you put it on a kid, okay, who is barely in the league, all right? And then you expect him to do that. And what does the kid do? He freaks out. The moment's too big for him. He has a good play, so that made him cocky, and then he goes out and tries to do the Dan Marino fake spike bullshit and throws a pick. And then they show Bill's Croatian ass standing there just, oh my God, Now he's got a GOAT to blame. Now, for those who watched sports before the year 2000, when you called someone a GOAT in sports, that was a bad thing. It's a lowercase g, lowercase GOAT. It means you're to blame. You're the one that sucks. Okay, so he put Bailey out there. So now it's deflected off of Belichick more, and then we're focused on, it's the quarterbacks. Did you guys not realize the quarterbacks are why Belichick sucks? The quarterbacks are why the team sucks. And that's what he was saying, basically. All right? So, no. What you do, you let Mac go in there and you let him dig himself out. He threw a bad pick. You let him come back and you let him see what he can do. Let him redeem himself. He's done it before. We've actually seen Mac do that before. It's happened. Okay? So you just throw in some random dude who hasn't played all year, basically, a little bit in week 5. But, that's it? And you expect him to go and bail you out? No, that was the only reason you would do that, is to deflect off of you. So you can say, look, we don't have the right guys. We don't have the right quarterbacks or whatever. And then look at it this way. If Bailey Zappi did go down the field and did win, they would be, okay, they'd have 3 wins on the year. And then Bill could say, hey, the reason we're 3-7 is because Mac Jones, not because I suck as a coach. See, I'm the genius. I figured it out. I unprecedentedly pulled out my starter on the last drive of the game and put in this nobody, and then they won. So see, I'm a genius. I'm brilliant, Ego, fucking ego, massive ego. It's just unbelievable. I go back and think, after last night's show, I was sitting there thinking, man, all of the things I ever said to defend Belichick. And I just remember after Tom leaving and everything, I said, you know what, it'll be okay. It won't be great. I never said, obviously, I'm not crazy. I never said that it was going to be Super Bowl level stuff, okay? But my God, 2-8? Do you guys know the last time that the Patriots were 2-8? Do you have any idea? Do you know when that was? 2000. Okay, it was 2000. Brady's rookie year, when he didn't play a snap, when he was the 4th guy on the roster on the depth chart for quarterbacks. That was 2000 that they started. They were 2-8. With Drew Bledsoe, number 1 overall pick in 1993, Super Bowl quarterback for 96. And they started 2-8. And now they're 2-8 with a first rounder. Mac Jones, a first rounder from Alabama. It's not like you pulled, Drew Bledsoe's from Walla Walla, Washington. You didn't pull fucking Mac Jones from Walnut Ridge, Arkansas or some shit. Okay? You pulled Mac Jones from Alabama. You pulled him from where, supposedly is like Alabama Crimson Tide and Nick Saban. That's the de facto NFL team, right? In college. That's what they call it. It's like a NFL factory, right? All right. Well, you can't win. You go 2-8. You start the year 2-8 with Drew Bledsoe, and then you start the year 2-8 with Mac Jones. You're fucking done, dude. You suck. You suck. You absolutely suck. Seriously. Unbelievable. Absolutely embarrassing. Embarrassing. Completely embarrassing. I don't want to hear one fucking Patriots fan. I don't want to hear one Patriots fan come on here and comment or get on Twitter and fucking say like, oh, well, blah, 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 this and that and this and that. I saw one guy. Let me show you something, okay? This is funny actually, but let me show you here. Okay. Do a little screen sharing. All right. See if you can see that. I'm going to zoom in this motherfucker. All right. This guy... This is actually hilarious. So this guy, Tom Brady, watching the Patriots and Bill Belichick elevate his legacy even in retirement. Okay? This is true. This is sad but true. Yeah, it's... I don't know where my comment is. Oh yeah, I wrote, this is just so wrong, but so true at the same time. And... It's just... And then you have this douchebag, okay? So, Mr. Scary Frog. Now he's one of the idiots that I'm referring to when I say the Patriots fans who are basically delusional and have no concept of reality of what's going on for them. Okay, he says you can't take away what Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did together. Well, no shit. Okay, wow, that's brilliant, dude. Come on, what else you got for me? If it was all Tom Brady, why'd he stay 20 years? Huh? Why not leave sooner? Huh? Tampa already built to win. Oh, Tampa, there it is. There it is. There's the delusional Patriots fan fucking idiocy. Okay? Tampa already built to win. Needed a quarterback. All they needed was a quarterback, okay? They had 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers. No, they didn't. Who the fuck's he talking about? Who? They didn't have 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers. They had Mike Evans, which is a stat whore and massively overrated. He was overrated before Tom got there. I even said that. And you guys know for a fact, the entire time that Tom was in Tampa Bay, I used to talk shit about Mike Evans. Couldn't stand him. I don't like guys who are not tough, you know. But let's see here. So he said 2 Hall of Famers. No, Tom brought in Antonio Brown. Okay. So Tom didn't go to a team with 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers. Certainly he's not calling Chris Godwin a Hall of Famer. I mean, he might be. I mean, he is one of those delusional Patriots fans that's got his head up Belichick's ass. But I think he's referring to AB. And Tom brought in AB. So no Tom Brady on the Bucs, no AB. So no, you didn't go to that. Okay? Tom made that happen. So he had 2 Hall of Fame. Added, oh, no way. I guess I should keep reading. I'm so fucking annoyed that I'm not even reading farther. Then added AB, Gronk, and Lenny. So this fucking guy is saying that Chris Godwin is a fucking Hall of Fame wide receiver. Is that what he's saying? Holy shit. Man, I just glossed over that when it said added AB. I didn't even... Am I... What? Okay. He's calling Chris Godwin a Hall of Famer. All right. Whatever, dude. Guys, can you click the like button? There's 27 of you watching, only 9 likes. Let's go. Let's get it going. So he's saying that Chris Godwin is a wide receiver, a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Okay, we'll go past. Added AB, Gronk, and Lenny. Yeah, so at least you give him credit for that. That's good. If it's so easy, AR-12 would have had more than one. Huh? Am I reading that correctly? He just said that Tampa Bay was already built to win, needed a quarterback. And then said, if it's so easy, AR-12 would have more than one. Okay, so either it is easy for Tom, since Tom Brady went to a stacked team, Tom Brady went to an already built to win team, right? So, okay. But then he's saying it's hard. So where's he at here? Like where it seems to be all over the place. And then he's right about that. He's right about if it's so easy, AR-12 would have more than one. Exactly. It's not easy. And Mahomes and Reed would only have 2 and no dynasty. Exactly. Because it's very difficult. But if it's so difficult, which he is correctly stating, then why did he make it look so easy when he said Tampa was already built to win? And all it took was Tom Brady showing up and voila, a Super Bowl. Which is it, dude? Seriously. So I posted here, you just contradicted yourself. I didn't even see the part about AB, so he's calling Chris Godwin a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I might as well put that too. Yeah, so Chris Godwin, apparently in 2020, he had a 1,000-yard season, and the only reason anybody gave a shit about who Chris Godwin was or even knew that he existed is because he gave up his number to Brady. His number was 12, and so he gave his Brady, and he had a 1,000-yard season. That was it. Like that was Chris Godwin, you know, and Tom never showed up in Tampa Bay, nobody would be talking about Chris Godwin, nor would you be saying anything like this. That's such overrated bullshit, dude. Yeah, here's Mike Walsh Sr. says, get the fuck out of here with the Tom Brady nonsense that the organization hadn't been to the playoffs since 2007, for fuck's sakes. And Godwin is in no world a Hall of Fame receiver. You are a fucking idiot. Thank you, Mike Walsh. Thank you. I'll tell him it's... There you go. Props, Mike. Props. Okay. But yeah, that's some funny shit right there. Let's see what else we can find. You guys want to look around a little bit? Belichick is trending. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so it starts with this guy. Savage. I think I follow this account. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, yeah, no. They unfollowed me when they didn't like my politics. Okay, so Patriots legend Teddy Bruschi on if Belichick will get fired midseason. We are not the Las Vegas Raiders, and he is not Josh McDaniels. No, but they have similar records. Oh, man. Oh, you got to love this. This is... all right. What shit you guys saying? Yeagar Tharn says Chris Godwin hasn't even played. Gord King's laughing. Godwin and Evans were a great duo, but nowhere near Hall of Fame worthy. If he just said that Brady smartly picked a good team with far better wide receivers than the garbage he had in New England, then fair enough. Yeah, so he just went way too far and over the top, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the Brady derangement syndrome. That's what BDS is right there. It does something to your brain. It's a mental illness. It seriously is. It really is. It's a mental illness, and it affects you. By the way, if you guys want, you can send super chats on Rumble, on the Rumble broadcast. Yeah. So with Tom, what Tom did is he looked around and was like seeing what would be a good fit. Why would a guy at the end of his career, okay, a Hall of Fame quarterback like that, why would at the end of his career, why would he pick a team that sucks? Why would you go to the, I mean, as far as record, because they did suck, but as far as like what you could do with it and what you could work with, why would you go to like the Jets or like what would be the point? You know? So there wouldn't be a point, right? It just would be stupid of you to do that. So I don't understand all of this. Like, oh, Tom, do you not remember when Peyton was shopping around for a team and he went to look around and he only really seriously considered teams that had something to work with? Why else? Then why would you even leave your own team if you were just going to make a lateral move? So you got to at least get something out of it. All Tom was asking for was a little bit of control on the offense and bringing in those type of players. like that. So, there you go. Is Milena home? What's up? What's up? I'm just bitching and complaining. How are you doing? Yeah. So, Israel says, this right here is the absolute state of all anti-Bradyists. They're massively disabled mentally. It's the BDS, dude. It's the Brady derangement syndrome. It's a real thing. Find a cure. The Gordon King says, Evans could be a Hall of Famer with his streak of 1,000-yard seasons, but it's far from a done deal. He's the wide receiver version of, he's a stat whore. Most of that is inflated, being, when you're, a lot of these wide receivers throughout history, actually, you're really the target that they just constantly force balls to, and they don't care if they get picked off a lot and stuff, but they're just going to keep targeting you over and over and over and over, and you're going to get those 1,000-yard seasons. And they don't translate to anything. They never translated to a playoff appearance for the Bucs, so I really don't give a shit that you had 1,000 yards every year. You weren't actually propelling your team. It just means that you were constantly targeted, and it didn't amount to much. And that's why I have a hard time. It's why I had a hard time with Calvin Johnson and Megatron. Megatron was one of my favorite players in the league. I absolutely loved him. In fantasy football, I used to make bad trades just so I could have him on my team. It was ridiculous, okay? But first ballot Hall of Famer? No. It's got to equal something. It's got to matter. You've got to be able to do that when it matters. When everyone knows that, and I'm talking about in a playoff game, not a regular season where people week in and week out don't give a shit about what's going on half the time. I'm talking about serious situations, and that stuff's got to and then, hey, if Megatron had a problem. Okay, if he had a problem, he signed new contracts. He signed contract renewals with the Lions, which on one side you can respect them for that, but on the other side, he could have left. He could have left Detroit and he could have gone after a ring, but he didn't. He took the big money and he stayed there. He's a big fish in a little pond. You know who else is a big fish in a little pond? Larry Fitzgerald from the Cardinals. What's up?
Well, we're patriotic today.
Oh, I'm patriotic as hell. Go, Viva Bulgaria! No, I'm pretending to be Belichick.
Oh, looks like a soccer.
No, Belichick has Croatian flags all over him, and not American flags.
He does?
Yes. You didn't know that?
No, I heard that, but I don't know.
Yeah. So every week that Belichick goes out there, he's got Croatian flags on his clothing. At least two, maybe more. He might have a tattoo on his dick. Ooh. So I'm pretending to be Belichick. So I'm a patriot for another country. So yeah, I'm being a smartass. Okay. So let's see. Where was I before Nefertiti rudely interrupted me? Rudis interruptus. By the way, I'm taking this off. Yeah. Hey, give me that shit. That's not a cat toy. This is it might start looking like one. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Oh. Fuck. All right. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Okay. I'm not going to hurt this jersey because it says Von Allen. Okay? And it was a wonderful, amazing gift from Tyree Vaughn. Tyree Vaughn and family. So I would never harm that jersey. I wouldn't do that anyway. That's just stupid. So people that burn the jersey and all that, like that is just absolutely just numbskull, idiotic behavior. But anyway, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is a perfect example of a guy being a big fish in a little pond. He loved being the rock star in Arizona. Okay, he loved it, and he loved all the attention and being I was living in Arizona. I was living in Phoenix at the time. And I'm telling you that he was the guy there. Okay. He was the guy, and that's it. There was nobody else. They actually had a better player at the time. Anquan Bolden was, in my opinion, was a better player than him at the time frame I'm referring to. I remember when Kurt Warner showed up. That was a big name in coming in, and Larry was uncomfortable with it at first. And Larry even told Kurt, because Kurt was getting on his case, and Larry's like, "I'm good enough," and Kurt's like, "Fuck you are good at what? No." And then of course Larry eventually woke up, and then they had that great run in 2008. All this stuff I'm talking happened before. But he had all the endorsements, all the local endorsements from companies in Phoenix and everything. He was on all these local commercials all the time. And then when Peyton Manning was looking for a team, when he was shopping around, he went to visit Arizona, and Larry didn't even show up. Larry didn't even want to be there to try to bring him on and sell him. So Larry had no interest in Peyton being there, because then he wouldn't be the guy anymore. And Larry, how many contract renewals did he do? And I'm telling you, this is probably not something that you can see just from a fan standpoint, but it's something that's true. It's something that's accurate, that really happened. And then eventually Anquan Bolden is the one that had to leave the Cardinals. And then he goes and he joins the Ravens. And we all know what Anquan Bolden did to the Patriots, did to us, okay, on their quest to win a Super Bowl. Okay? Anquan Bolden was the man, all right? He's a gritty player, different style wide receiver than Larry Fitzgerald. But he's the one that had to leave, and he's the one that went and got the ring, okay? So you've got these guys, these wide receivers that sometimes they like being the guy, the big fish in the little pond here, and they don't really want to rock the boat. They're kind of happy just getting the ball. They don't. Winning is actually not even a priority. It's about getting the ball and getting the record contracts and being famous. We know how wide receivers are, okay? There's a lot of other positions where guys aren't like that. But at wide receiver, that's the deal. That's why there are so many Hall of Fame wide receivers without rings, or Hall of Fame caliber, or even elite level, let's say right under Hall of Fame. So many guys that we sit there and go, how come they don't have a ring? Well, they liked being the guy in their area. They liked being the man, and this tends to happen. Mike Evans is very similar to that. He just, and then he fucking hit the lottery when Tom Brady said, "Hey, I'm going to go down to Tampa." So he got lucky. He's like, "Wait, look what happened here." So there you go. But this guy, Chris Godwin, whatever, unbelievable. Yegar Tharn says Buccaneers arguably had the inferior roster to three of their playoff opponents in 2020. So the first game was against the DC criminals, or the DC Eyes Wide Shut party attendees, DC lizard people, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, the Bucs were the better team on that one. But then you've got, this is interesting. So then you've got them going against the Saints. The Saints won the division that year and beat the Bucs, two straight in the season. I would say the rosters were comparable. I'd say they were probably right about at the same level. And then you've got the Packers. I would say very similar. The Packers were similar in that case. The Bucs might actually even had I'm talking player for player. I think the Bucs probably were a bit better than the Packers. And then you've got, of course, the Chiefs, where that was a very good matchup roster-wise. So no doubt the Bucs had a great roster. They did. I mean, if you look at the people on there. But you have to understand something about that Bucs roster. They were elevated because Brady was there. So if you remove Brady, those names don't mean anything. They don't mean shit. Okay? They didn't mean shit the year before with Jameis Winston, and they don't mean shit now with Baker Mayfield. Okay? It's just Nobody's picking the fucking Buccaneers to do anything this year. Nobody takes them seriously. They might somehow win the division by accident. Apparently the Saints aren't interested in taking it. And then you got the Falcons and Carolina Panthers who basically don't give a fuck. Although I think the Falcons have a future if they keep working hard and don't screw it up. But I mean, no one would think of that. So adding Brady is what was the thing that tilted in their favor. Bringing Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, you weren't getting the Antonio Brown of, like 2016, 2015, 2014, and all that era. Antonio was coming on to the Bucs at that time. Well, you had the Raiders thing that happened, and you had the Patriots thing that happened, and when he got cut, there was a lot of downtime for Antonio, and he was kind of at approaching the end there. So he wasn't Antonio Brown as much. I think people kind of overcredit that just because he's Antonio Brown. It's kind of like getting Randy Moss at like 2010, 2011. It's like, yeah, okay, it's Randy Moss, but is it, with all the shit that had happened and him being out of football. And then they mentioned Gronk, of course. Okay, well, Gronk was also at the end there, and Gronk wasn't, in his prime, obviously. And then Leonard Fournette was a kind of a cast-off guy. The Jaguars didn't want him anymore. Kind of a disappointing career up until that point. He was supposed to be a good, a great player, high pick in the draft, and people expected big things from him, and it just didn't happen. Tom brought in good pieces, but they were pieces for him that he could use, that he could utilize. Utilize. Okay. Who is Babs? John Thomas Chavez says, Babs also blatantly claimed that Brady was largely responsible for the FTX scandal. How? Brady lost $30 million in that deal, dude. He was an investor and a spokesperson for the company, along with Gisele Bundchen and Steph Curry and I think Larry David, the comedian, the writer, and some other people, some other famous people. As far as the investment itself, it was very stupid and shocking that Tom could be so good at decisions on the field, but didn't read that one very well. That was a pick. That was a bad interception right there. So, but as far as being responsible for it, that's absolutely a joke. Come on. Who is this Babs person? I'm just catching up here. Well, I know a lot about the FTX scandal, and I can tell you don't have to look into it if you don't. It's kind of boring, but no, that's absurd. Nobody is even... No. They got ripped off too. They made a bad decision. They got tricked by a guy who was saying he was going to save the world and all this stuff, and it convinced Gisele because he said, "Oh, but we're gonna save the porcupines and all this shit." And Gisele's like, "Oh my God, I've got to make another picture now, and I got to do my little heart symbol with my fingers, okay? And I got to go sit on the beach with my hair blowing and saying, oh, life is so precious. Just love each other, everyone, okay?" And all that, hippie bullshit that she does because she's got like $1 gazillion and she has no idea what the real world is like at all, okay? And then so she takes it, Tom says, "Oh, Tom, Tom, This is so great. I want to save the world. And Tom's like, okay, well, what is it? What do they do? Well, you can make a lot of money with fucking Bitcoin and doing that stuff. Okay. And then Tom invests into it and thinks it's a great deal. If you had looked into the investments that he had made, he made donations to nothing but Democrat politicians. Okay. Why would you do that? You see what I mean? You knew you were going to need some help. You knew you were going to need some legal protection and protection with the media and things like that. He knew what he was doing. But as far as Tom, Tom deserves to lose that money. I'm absolutely agree that too fucking bad. You very stupid. You should have looked into that. But he had nothing to do with that. That's absolutely dumb. Scotch. Nefertiti. All right. Okay. We got Nefertiti says a $10 super chat on Rumble. Says rant support. Ooh, rant support here. I like it. Okay. Yeah, Israel. So Israel says, then I guess all the pro athletes are responsible too, right? And Giselle, the numbers clearly show Brady carried BB and haters pretending the numbers don't exist, says Ace. The Gord King says, speaking of forced balls, Deshaun Watson's team is doing good. Yes. Did you see the way Deshaun Watson in the fourth quarter just kept penetrating the defense? The way he threaded his ball to the tight end on that one call was amazing. He just put it right there in the center. It was quite amazing there. So good job, Deshaun Watson. Jalen says Tampa has the worst record in the history of sports. You could say he did pick a team that sucks. Yes, that's why I corrected myself, because I was like, wait a minute, they did suck. But he picked a team with a good roster. That's what I meant, is that he's going to pick a team that's got something to work with, not necessarily. It's not like they were 1-15 or something, So how about them Browns and Steelers that Jalen says? I'll tell you something about those Browns and Steelers. That tells me that nobody in the AFC North knows who the hell they are. Okay? So if you can figure out what the hell is going on in the AFC North, let me know, because apparently, nobody really understands what they're about and who wants to take that thing. So it's actually pretty interesting. I find it actually pretty cool. So Israel says Massage Watson didn't take no for an answer today. No, he didn't. And apparently to Deshaun Watson, no doesn't always mean no, right? So, although to be quite honest with you, I think all that stuff that, I don't know, I'm not so sure. A lot of those women were prostitutes. So, I don't know. But it is funny. Biop says BDS is of such ideological filth that irritates more than any ideology against any other athlete. It is a sickness, okay? It's derived, it's got the same elements of TDS, which is where I got the name from. It does have the same elements, though. It's the not just hating somebody, but it poisons your brain to where you can't think straight. You can't think like a normal human, and all logic and everything that you are, any intelligence that you may have, any education you may have, is all just out the window because of your just blind hatred for Brady. And that's how it works. Chavez put, looks like a Mexican flag, shaking hands with a Bulgarian flag. Bitcoin motorist. I like what he just said here. So Bitcoin motorist, my God, I'm 15 minutes behind on these comments. Sorry about that, guys. Bitcoin motorist says, I'm not even sure that the Patriots have great ownership anymore. He's right. Robert should have sold that team to Jonathan after Deflategate. So, yeah, the Steelers was a good pick there. Props to that. I did not think they were going to win that one. I thought Green Bay could steal something there. Pittsburgh is a weird team lately. They have been winning in very unconventional ways. So they're kind of interesting. But I think it's going to end up the same for Pittsburgh. They're going to be okay, and in the end, they'll miss out on a playoff spot. They'll be like 9-8 or something like that, and it won't amount to much. So until they get a quarterback and replacement for Ben, they're not going much further than that, I don't think. So you got to have a quarterback in this league, man. They just need that balance. You got to have the other side of the ball. They do it all the time. They do it every year. They just find ways to win weird games, but we all know that eventually catches up with you and doesn't take you very far. But yeah, that was a good pick. I missed that one. I missed on the Ravens too. Couldn't believe that they lost that one. But I didn't anticipate that Deshaun Watson wouldn't take no for an answer, right? Okay. Yeah, Tom was always going to go to an NFC team. I don't think he literally seriously considered an AFC team. I don't think he wanted to do something like that.
Steve Wizard says, how are you doing?
Huh?
Did you see Steve's comment?
I am. I'm not caught up yet.
Oh, okay. Just saying hi.
Who?
Steve.
Who?
Steve.
Who's that?
Well, look at the name and you will see the last comment.
Who is Steve? Well, I'm trying to catch up here.
I was just saying.
Holy shit. Bitcoin Motors was on a podcast with Sam Bankman Fraud in 2020. Dude, you got to send me that. I've got to see that. That's crazy. It wasn't the actual right then. It was a sound investment to invest into a company that did digital currency. That is not really the crazy thing. I mean, there's been a lot of companies that's done well. Look at Robinhood; they have been tearing it up, right? So what's that other one? Coinbase that you've invested in, Milena? Coinbase?
I think so. No.
Something like that, yeah. But yeah, so that's not in itself. That's not the problem. The problem is, you have to investigate the CEO. You have to investigate the person, the one that is asking this money, and you have to look at them like I'm talking like FBI level background and see what they're doing, see what their political affiliations are, see what they're up to, and that would have told you everything you needed to know before investing into that. So.
Basically, don't invest.
Oh, it's Hungarian. Okay. Hungarian flag looks like that. It looked like the Mexican flag to me, but it was very small. Couldn't tell. Oh, Steve Weiser. Oh, Steve, where you been, man? What's up? When you said Steve, I thought you meant my brother, Steven. Yeah, I thought you might have meant my brother, Steven. Okay.
No.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I'll pop your name up here, and we'll be. I've got a new counter that I'm going to be popping up to with all y'all's names in it. So, Bitcoin says, I will send it to you. The cool thing is the host, Tone Vase, immediately raised the alarm that Alameda was a conflict of interest with FTX way back in 22. Are you serious? Wow. Okay. So, but again, like I was saying, that dude, look at all the protection money that he was spending. And that's why the media didn't go after him. the media was very, very kind to him because he had put all that money into play. He knew what he was doing. If you want the media industrial complex behind you, you pay off Dems. That's just how it is. And yes, there are plenty of corrupt Republicans, but they don't run the media. The media is ran by the left. So that's where you put your money if you're wanting media protection. And so he knew he was going to need it eventually. Okay, so let's go back real quick to, now that I'm caught up, screen share. Okay. Let's see what else people are saying. That's an ad. Okay. Boston Cream says, Bill Belichick when Mac Jones is beating his team next year. Oh, that's good. I like it. Guys, seriously, I don't think Mac is that bad. I really don't. There's something just not right here about the team itself, and it's not. I don't know. I just don't believe it. Okay, Mac is not going to be a Patriot for much longer. Okay, that's obvious, right? So he's going to get with a team, some team that needs a quarterback but has some key players. Okay, I think he'll end up somewhere good, and he'll be able to show what he can do. I'm not even sure that Bill O'Brien even gives a shit. I don't. He is not coaching the way with the same creativity and stuff that he did in 2011. So, there's all kinds of rumors that O'Brien wants another coaching shot somewhere else, maybe even back to college. I know he coached Penn State originally. That's when he left the NFL. And then he came back, and then I've heard rumors of some other colleges. So he might mentally not even be there. Or maybe him and Belichick are actually trying to get moved. Maybe they want to be fired. Who knows? So you just don't know the situation. But I just can't believe that the Patriots didn't come out with a sense of urgency at all, the players. I mean, that is just very uncharacteristic. That's why I picked the Patriots to win that game, because I said they have to. There's no way that they don't win that game. There's no way that those players are going to go out there and not try and not, I don't know. Wow. Okay, just wow. This is just... Okay, the internet's on a roll tonight. Steve, no, it's too late to be in this quarterback tournament. But it's almost over. So even if you sign up this month, it's what is it? Yeah, it's November 12th. So if you go ahead and sign up now, you're going to be entered into the next tournament in a few weeks. So it's all the same, but yeah, this one's almost over now. Okay. I thought I got rid of all those extra logos here. Let's get them. They're bugging me. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, That was probably a weird spot to leave it. Just Hitler on replay here. Okay. And if he's throwing a touchdown, you give him credit for it. Throwing the pick, you have to say, you can't say that Belichick threw that ball. I get the sentiment. I get it. And I do understand a coach can ruin a quarterback. The most recent, most egregious example of that is Sean McVay ruining Jared Goff. thankfully Goff went to a team where the coach is actually not a complete fucking moron and not trying to live vicariously through the quarterback position. So, but yeah, this is a bad throw. The way he just put a little bit of touch on it lets me think that he was thinking it was a different. Maybe the route was cut sooner, kind of at the first down marker or near the first down marker, and maybe that wasn't meant to be a touchdown right there. It was meant to just be a first down. I'm thinking that really that's the only thing that makes sense, because it wasn't an underthrow, because he would have put more in. See, that was a perfectly targeted if Henry had done a cut there across for the first down. So that was well, hell, for all we know, Hunter Henry might have ran their own route. Thinking of that. So maybe we'll find out at some point. He got benched because Belichick was trying to show, like, it makes it gives the impression that it's all the quarterback's fault, so. But at the same time, trying to expect Mac Jones to be Brady is a bit ridiculous. So. Bill Belichick doing the walk of shame. Okay. Oh, holy shit, that is Bill Belichick. Oh, there's that Babs person you're talking about. Babs. Leader of Patriots Nation. Really? Wow. This guy's the leader of the entire Patriots fan base with 14,000 followers? You'd expect being the leader of the Patriots fan base to be a bit bigger. That's a weird video, Belichick, by the way. I mean, what is the deal here? And why would someone have that video, by the way? Where's that come from? He says, Babs is leader of Patriots Nation. Hot takes and rants are my specialty. Ooh, fancy. Always in Bill we trust. Wow, what a fucking moron. Why don't he just put a fucking comment that just says, I'm an idiot? You can't just say that. So that means that he's beyond criticism. He says, I don't identify as a max sexual. Jarrett Stidham hype man? Wow. Okay. That biography just reads, don't follow me, I'm a fucking moron. Okay. Oh, there's that goofy fuck, that Denver Broncos fan. These comedian guys, it's so lame, these sports comedian people. They really, what they wanted to be analysts. They wanted to be the guy that calls games and gives good analysis and stuff. But when you're doing comedy, you can be wrong. And then it's just all in the name of comedy. It's all in the name of just being funny. And it's kind of an easy gig. It's kind of a thing they have. So there you go. Whatever. How did all this get all fucked up anyway? All right. So he says, anyway, what he says is Belichick just standing there, turned a blind eye to the abusive relationship happening right behind him. Yeah, this is nothing. Bill O'Brien has got a bad temper. Him and Tom Brady went at it one time playing the Washington Eyes Wide Shut party attendees. Well, no, actually back then they were actually the Washington Redskins. That was before the entire country went completely fucking crazy. So... Yeah, that was funny last week, actually. Oh, let's see what this is. Guy named Cerrone Battle. That's a cool name. He says, it starts and ends with Belichick. Stop asking about ownership, front office, salary caps, coordinators. It's 100% him. We give him every inch of credit when they win and scramble looking for blame when they lose. He drove not anymore, a $7 billion franchise into the ground. So... what's this all about? Can you guys hear that?
Against Washington, but I know the other gentleman asked about Boutte or just in general. Are you hoping that the young guys in the second half of the season can go on and make an impact and just sort of give the offense some life in that regard?
Right. Well, each week's different. So, different team, different opponent, different scheme, different players. So we'll see how we match up this week against the Colts. And last week was last week against a different team, different players, different scheme. So we'll see what happens this week. But yeah, of course,
just mumbling bullshit. Oh, here's that quote. Here's that quote that I've been referring to. This is from that book, Ian O'Connor's book, Belichick. I've read that. I have it actually in the other room. If you gave us an unnamed assistant coach told Ian this, apparently. Okay, well, we're taking his word for it, but it does sound actually kind of true. If you gave us any of the top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL, we could do it. I don't think the coaches view Tom Brady as special as everyone else in football does. Robert Kraft thinks Tom is the greatest gift ever, but the coaches don't. And they go on to say, maybe after failing spectacularly without him, Belichick and McDaniels have changed their mind on what Tom Brady brought them. Greatness. Okay. Well. I think it's been done. There's nothing else to say here. The Belichick Patriots thing is probably coming to an end. I know he signed a new contract extension, but for Kraft, that could have been, maybe he was thinking in different angles. So he could be thinking, okay, one, if I give him an extension, that would shut everybody up and get the team to start focusing, letting the players know that Belichick's not going anywhere, and let Bill know he's not going anywhere, so they can just lock down and start to work. And then it backfired. It didn't work. Maybe that was what Kraft was thinking. Or maybe Kraft was thinking, I'm going to lock him down, so if he wants to leave or if I need to get rid of him, I can trade him. Similar to how he traded to get him from the Jets originally. So maybe that's what Kraft is thinking. The only problem with that theory is that we don't understand Belichick's contract. We know nothing about it. We know even the 3-year extension was leaked by somebody, probably somebody on Kraft's side. But it was leaked. But we don't normally know about Belichick. Nobody even knows how much Belichick makes. It's just a guess. Like, people are just guessing what it could be. It's probably ridiculous. It's probably like $15 million or something. But he may have a thing in his contract that says he can't be traded. So if he does, then what I just said is moot, right? So but I don't know. Or Kraft doesn't care that he fires him and has to pay him. He also considered this, okay? If I was Kraft, these are the things I would be thinking about. You could give Bill an extension, and you could still fire him. And the reason you could still fire him is because Bill is not going to just take a year off, okay? Kraft knows if Bill gets fired, Bill's going to want to go prove himself. So Bill's going to take a job immediately next year. When he does that, Kraft no longer has to pay him. So if a new team gives Bill a contract, Kraft is off the hook with that. So maybe he's thinking of those. Maybe it's like got a lot of angles to it. Who knows? That's if Kraft is not a senile old idiot, which I think he's become. So I just wish he would fucking step away and give the team to Jonathan. Everything would have been so much even smoother had Jonathan become the owner. Jonathan does not like Roger Goodell. He does not mind sticking his finger at the NFL establishment, basically, and he's just much cooler, much more of a. He's not a pansy ass like Robert is. Robert is always willing to. I'm worried about what people are going to think about me, and he spends too much time in massage parlors. So yeah, maybe that's the deal. Maybe he's trying to think about it in different ways. Who knows? But I just don't see a situation where Belichick is going to be coaching on the sidelines next year. I just don't. Not for the Patriots. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing that. We can talk about coordinators and stuff like that all day long, but I think the help. Okay, now obviously no one is saying that Tom Brady is 100% the reason why the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls. Okay, that's just ridiculous. You can't say that about anything. Okay, you can't say that about Jordan and the Bulls. Obviously people contributed, but in that sense of the contributions, I think that Dante Scarnecchia's contributions to the offensive line all those years is now it seems to be very understated. And Ernie Adams, okay? So Ernie Adams is a weird figure, okay? He's a guy who basically he's in the background, okay? Not literally, like he's always on the field, he's always out there. You see him, he's an old dude with glasses, and he's just kind of looks like a computer nerd out there on the field or whatever. But Ernie Adams has been Belichick's right hand for most of his head coaching career. And what Ernie does is Ernie is putting together all of these clever things in the background, and he's very smart. Like supposedly, I heard that he's like a genius, got a high IQ and everything. And he puts together all these clever things and how things should be done and stuff. And he's not there. He's gone. So there's these people that are, and that maybe have more impact than we really understand. So as far as coordinators go, the mistake the coordinators make is that they try to be Belichick, but they go and they do that, but they don't have Ernie Adams, they don't have Dante Scarnecchia, they don't have Tom Brady, they don't have the situation and the trust of the ownership and the organization like Bill has. Bill has all of those things happening with him. So, and Bill's a good football coach. He's just a terrible general manager. But as far as saying that Bill is this greatest of greats, that I think that's taking a hit here. So it's not good. It's not a good look. So. But maybe there are just some other things going on that we didn't give enough credit to, didn't pay enough attention to. And yeah, so. Oh, Tom was easily the biggest factor. So. Who do I want to be the next coach? I think last night Bitcoin said, I think it was Bitcoin that mentioned Jim Harbaugh. I like that. That'd be nice. So. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of get in a rant here for you guys. I wanted to kind of just get what I was thinking off my chest. I didn't want to forget it, like I said at the beginning of the show. Thank you for being here. I know it's very late, but I had to say something because it was ridiculous. As far as the other games, the Lions continue to impress me. The Chargers actually played a pretty good game on offense, but their defense couldn't stop the Lions because the Lions' offense is just that good. They're really excellent. Their coach is awesome. I really think the Lions have a chance to do something big here this year. I think they can get pretty far. I know for sure they're going to, well, obviously they're going to win their division, but I mean, I know for sure that they're going to get a playoff win. So that's the first thing. Just get the playoff win. It will be possibly, if they keep their record up, it possibly... Well, the Eagles are one win ahead. Okay, I was gonna kind of say, what if they got the home field advantage in the bye? That'd be great, right? But let's not get crazy here. Okay, so they still have some things about their team that kind of let things get out of hand at times. But I do think that they get a playoff victory, and then once they get that, then anything could happen. We'll just see. They definitely have a talented team. They definitely have a great coach, motivated, all that. So I really like what I'm seeing out of them. Of course, last year I told you guys that the Lions were going to be good this year, and you could see that. I think most of y'all agreed with me on that because you could see the Lions were getting better at the end of the season. They were just tearing win after win after win. You could see that they finally clicked and finally started to make sense for them. 49ers, like I said last night, 49ers are a defensive team. Everyone thinks Kyle Shanahan. So it's offense, blah, blah, blah. And it's not. You would think they would be if they had a quarterback that could take advantage of the players on that team. But they're a defensive team, and they showed it today against the Jaguars. So at least they stopped that 3-game winning streak. You can't lose 4 straight, and you want to compete for a title. That's just... I don't know. That's not realistic. So maybe the 49ers have righted the ship here. That was a pretty good victory. It wasn't some shitty team that they beat. So, okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. I know it's late. And I will see you guys soon. Okay. Thank you so much. And have a very, 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 very pleasant night. And